Welcome back to the home team. Moving from football to footy, our next story deals with a team in an emerging sport that's growing in Ontario, Australian Rules Football.
It's not rugby, it's not soccer, it is a very unique sport.
For players of Australian Rules Football here in Canada, it can be a difficult sport to describe. It includes many transferable skills from soccer, rugby, and football, but isn't quite any of those sports.
So I compare it to Canadian football, CFL. There's no line of scrimmage, and imagine every player is a quarterback and a wide receiver. Many people think of it as rugby, so that when I tell them I'm playing Australian Rules Football, they always respond with, "Oh, you mean rugby?" So that puts a bit of a barrier, so that they might not like rugby or they haven't played it in school. We don't have that tradition here. So it can be tough to get people over the hump to try it out. Once they do, they enjoy it.
Late in 2018, a group of locals decided to bring the sport back to London and enlisted the help of some Australians to help establish the Forest City Crows.
Myself and a couple of other Australians come on board to help those Canadians sort of establish a club. I've got a close association with the Adelaide Football Club. I've got some friends there, and I had some conversations about them coming on board to help the footy club. So, we come to some non-formal agreement to be called the Forest City Crows. We have the rights to the Crows name here in Canada, and part of that agreement was they provide us with some Guernseys, some playing Guernseys, whether it's training or for our first season.
With a name and a set of jerseys, the team has started the process. The next big obstacle is finding a home in the Forest City to play.
It can be difficult. Soccer field's about 100 meters, 110 meters long, and that's narrower than the narrow part of a football field. So to find two soccer fields side by side of the right dimensions is tough. Quite often there'll be benches or fixtures in between soccer fields, which we can't play around. Similar to cricket, so there's a cricket club here in London, and they have a hard pavement in the center of the field. So back in Australia, they can take that out, it's removable, but here, it really is pavement.
Look, there's plenty of green space. You may have to go outside of the sort of the boundaries of the city to get there, but we just need an oval, put some white lines on it, some 4 sticks on both ends, and we've got a football field. It's not that hard.
One of the solutions we had was to play more recreational football, so 9 versus 9 instead of 18 versus 18, and that can be played on a soccer field. So AFL-X is an attempt by the AFL to cater to a smaller footprint, especially as they expand internationally. So we have those sets of rules available so that if we have 9 versus 9, we can actually play by a recognized set of rules.
While the sport is just starting back up in London, AFL Ontario has both men's and women's teams throughout the GTA and in Ottawa. Kendal Wales, who spent time in Australia where she learned the sport, lives in Sarnia, but commutes to Hamilton to play for the Wildcats.
So Hamilton does practice twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Unfortunately, I don't make it every week because it is quite far, but I do make it to every weekend game, which is either in Hamilton, home-based, or Toronto, or even Ottawa for the distance. I play with a great group of girls, so it's worth the commute.
Wales is also part of a selection process for Team Canada's entry in the 2020 World Cup that will take place in Australia.
So we did our first training for the World Cup for Team Canada in Calgary, which was in April, and then we just had our second one last weekend in Montreal. They are going to be picking 10 to 15 people for the first cut at the end of September, and then the rest of the team by December. They'll pick 28 players full to go over to Australia and compete in the Worlds. Australia doesn't have a team in the Worlds just because they're very good players. Hopefully one day we can get to that level and play against them. That would be an awesome goal. From here, it would just be great to build the league in Canada and get more competition.
Closer to home, the Forest City Crows are still looking to build the club and are looking for anyone interested in playing or volunteering to reach out and try it out.
Really in London, we're trying to build the sport, so we're not focusing on tackling or the aggression of the sport, it's the skills, the kicking, the catching, handballing, so that if we can get some people together, we can play non-contact Australian rules football. It's not what you see on TV where they're jumping on each other's shoulders. I'm not going to do that, and I don't want anyone else to do that to me.
We're looking for coaches, players, people that can, run out and you know, with the water bottles. So, you know, we are looking to sort of recruit, you know, a raft of people to be part of that club. Look, it's a great sport, it's unique, there's always a great culture about football. You know, you build a camaraderie with your teammates, particularly for Canadians. It's just a different type of sport.
Reporting for the home team, I'm Noah Smith.
Coming up on the home team.
If you think you'd like it, you will. Like, it's a sport for everyone. Even on the senior women's program, we've had new women join our team year after year who've never played a sport in their life.